Naturalis is finally getting a keeper hut, which means that our animals or our floofs will finally get the top quality food that they deserve. Oh yeah, there's also guests in Planet Zoo. You guys are getting an ice cream shop. Enjoy. Alright, to immediately get into the building, it was kind of a tricky place because at first I wanted to put tigers on the place where the keeper hut and the ice cream shop eventually came, because I thought I would have had enough time to build something like that. And then it was just like, oh yeah, but with the like sidelines and such, having another habitat there would just kinda make it there. Like if you have too much open space, it just feels empty no matter what you put into it. So after just looking at the place where this building is going to come, it was just like, I could build another habitat here, but it's just going to make it look very empty no matter how much stuff I put into that habitat. Or I could put a building here and actually make it an interesting place. So then I decided, oh yeah, our animals in Naturalis are not having a keeper hut yet. I constantly have to put one in quickly and then take it out for the cinematic shots, because it's just a box when I just put it in just to feed the animals. So I was just like, alright, let's make a keeper hut here. And then I don't know actually what to do after that. That was legit how I approached this building, was just like, I know what one half of the building is going to look like. The other half I'm just going to kind of wing it. I don't even know if there's going to be another half. Eventually there is of course going to be another half because ice cream shop. So yeah, there's finally something for, well actually the gift shop is also there for the guests, but you know, there's finally some food for the guests. And an actual certain place of food for the floofs. So yeah, that's basically the entire thought process that went into this build from the get-go. And then with the sidelines it was just like, alright, I need to angle this wall in a certain way so that it kind of breaks the sideline. Which is a weird thing to think about when you're building something, because usually you want to retain sidelines. And here it was just like, no, I need to actually break it. Because this building is going to go on the end of what's actually quite a long, just straight path. And so here comes the thing again, where if you have too much empty space, it's just going to feel empty even if it's not. So I needed to kind of break the sideline so that it doesn't feel empty. Because I could have just put a tiger habitat at the end of it, but because there's nothing blocking your view, there's also nothing that's kind of jumping out from that one sideline. So that's why I was just like, alright, I need to break this sideline just so that you have, like, what's the best way to explain this? Basically just like, I wanted to break the sideline just so that everything doesn't feel like abandoned. Like if you have a very long straight road, there's nothing blocking your view, it's just going to feel monotone no matter what's to the sides of that road. Breaking up that sideline actually works pretty well here, especially if you can break that sideline with a shop where you can make the guests spend all of their money. Well, actually the ice cream shop is at the other place, or on the other side of the sideline. So the keeper hut is blocking the sideline or breaking the sideline. That does mean though that I could make something very interesting with the keeper hut. And so I saw this image somewhere of, I don't know what it really was anymore, it's been so long. It feels like ages since I last opened up Planet Zoo. I can feel it in my bones that I've aged. My brain was like, yeah, we're going to make a very epic sounding funny thing there. And then my brain halfway through was just like, no, let's make Poison look like a dumbass by giving him a brain fart. But yeah, so I saw a picture somewhere. Actually, I think it's more of an amalgamation of pictures, because none of the pictures on Pinterest that I was like, oh yeah, let's save that, none of them directly translated into this build. For some reason, I was just like, yeah, I want this like sort of enveloping structure, like this sort of L-shaped structure, and then put another L shape on top of it, but make it float, and then add greenery to it, and make the one that's on top have glass lines so that you can see through it. And just, I basically just wanted an interesting wall, and then it's translated into this, which I'm really happy with. It's not something I would have built normally, because usually I kind of stay in the lines of like, not easy builds, but for me, like easy shapes with just like, oh, just a rectangle or just a round building. Flashbacks to the leaf-shaped thing that I still don't know what to call it. It's sort of leaf-shaped dome. But here it was just like, I want the rectangles, but then I also want to put them at weird angles and then make some weird cutouts and such. Yeah. And then for some reason, don't know why, but this just forever stuck with me, I wanted to put it on an island. Like, I kind of wanted to make a floating building. Like, well, when it comes to floating buildings, immediately my brain goes to Keanu. Not floating in that way, but just like floating in the water. That's what I mean with this building. Which I didn't in the end completely do, because then I would have needed more space, and this building is kind of trapped in between, well, the road or the path in Naturalis in the actual zoo. And then on the other side, not that far away from it, is the parking lot. So I was just like, alright, I don't have enough space to actually make this a floating building. It's going to just stick into the water at one point. But yeah, I'm really happy with this building. And there was a part in the video that I did cut out just because it didn't really work well with the flow of the video, where I was just lining up, like looking how the sideline would be changed with the building, like looking like, oh, do I need to put it this wall at this angle or that angle? That's usually stuff that I cut out of like me trying to figure out how to work the sidelines. And it's also how I very quickly realized I need to break this sideline, just because, again, it's at the end of this very long road. The road actually continues straight further on, or goes straight, like it doesn't really stop. It just, the main road bends, but then there's a smaller road that just continues. So again, I had to break that sideline, even though that's like the mortal enemy of most like urban design. Like, you want to keep sidelines, and here it was just like, no, I want to kill this sideline. Like, this sideline is not going to survive. But yeah, the entire reason was, again, just because if you have a sideline that just continues on forever, then it also makes it feel like things that are not actually that far away look further away, just because there's nothing that's kind of breaking or shifting the sideline. It's just straight on nothingness. So yeah, I'm very happy with this building because it's just weird. Usually my buildings have like a pretty like straight, I would say, storyline, basically from point A to B of like, oh yeah, this is the picture that I was inspired by, this is what I took from it, and this is the eventual builds. Here it was just like, I found this picture, this picture, this picture, this picture, this picture. I have no idea how they all combined into what I took from them. And then there's this build. Like, there's no connection almost. It's just an amalgamation of so many pictures on Pinterest that I can't even trace back of like, alright, what's the original idea here? But yeah, in the end, I'm again very happy with this build. I wanted to at first make a habitat, but then I also very quickly realized that sidelines, and also that it would be a very weird squishy habitat because there was not enough space, and I was so dead set on like finding something to do in the space that we're building that I was just like, alright, what else can I do? I could make a toilet building, but you know, it's on that weird place, like it's just slightly too far away from the entrance for a toilet building to make sense, but it's not far enough away. Like, it's that weird distance, because usually toilets are either right at the entrance or it's like 10 minutes or so from the entrance. Like there's usually that bit of distance. And this building was just like, yeah, it's like not even 5 minutes away, I would say, from the entrance. And yes, I did go onto Google Maps again, looking at the entrances of a lot of different zoos, just figuring out what makes them tick or what makes them work. Like how do they set up buildings, where do they place things and such. And yeah, that's eventually how all of this came to be, of just like trying to figure out what can I do with this place and how am I going to do it. But anyway, so I've already spoken about this in the last video of my internship. I'm not going to dabble on that too long because it's kind of like talking about going to the gym. Like you guys don't see it and it's not really that important, but when it came to making videos, it's kind of important. First of all, internship is going great. Second of all, it's weird because sometimes I come home and I've just like, I want to build this, and this. And other times it's just like, yeah, I want to build, but my brain is just kind of dead. However, the times that I do want to build, it really goes fast. This might just be a case of like, oh yeah, I basically save up a lot of ideas while working that I can't actually use. And then when I come home, it's just like, let's throw all of this into Planet Zoo. And then other days it's just like, yeah, I've saved up so many ideas and now they are all in this sort of blob and I have no idea what to do with it. Let's just go to bed. Let's just pass out into bed and just see what happens tomorrow. Again, internship is going great. It's again that there will be less videos, as you will have seen, because I didn't post for a week because it was the first week and we all know what the first week of any job does to you. You're just dead. I'm really enjoying it. And also again, like Planet Zoo is now the greatest outlet for things that like I think about while working that I can't actually use in real life. And then I put it into Planet Zoo and just get that sort of idea, I would say, out of me. But yeah, back to the actual build. So we've just finished I would say we just finished the ice cream shop. I wanted to make an interior, small one of course, because I didn't want to make this huge interior for this building. It's just like showing you a just range of different types of ice cream. And then what I wanted to build was a park. Again, this is where the sidelines again come in, because at first the idea was have a habitat here. But that wouldn't really work. But I still wanted some nature here, something to kind of separate all of the habitats, because when you have a lot of habitats together, it's nice to just have those spaces, because usually habitats are kind of in your face. They have like climbing structures or other structures that make you want to watch them, because that's the entire idea of a habitat in a zoo. You want guests to go and watch them. So you want to put some time into your habitats to make them interesting. But then the other thing is, if you put so much like things right next to each other, it all kind of blends in. Like you put too much stuff there so that nothing really stands out. So here I was just like, I want just some space to let the area kind of breathe, to make something that, you know, you're not going to go to Naturalis for this park. You're not going to really stand here for long unless you're wanting to like have a picnic or something, but I don't think you want to do that in this park, because it's like a wild park, which is basically like, it's not overgrown, but it's definitely allowed to just be natural. There's not a lot of like landscaping here done on a daily, I would say. Like they do kind of keep it so that the paths don't get overgrown and such. They do kind of make sure that it doesn't just look like the jungle is taking over and Baloo is coming on in 5 minutes. It's just wild enough so that animals like it and humans, that you can just kind of walk through it. You might see a hedgehog or even a squirrel. Actually no, because there's no trees in this park, because I wanted it to have like sun and everything, and trees kind of block that. it's a park, but it's just like, it's just kind of there. Although I do really like how it looks, of course, but it's not meant to really be a stopping point. It's just something, I would say it's an Instagram park, basically. It's there, it looks pretty, and that's it. It's just a place to make the rest of Naturalis breathe, to have that space where there's nothing that's drawing your eye. You can basically give your eyes a rest here. And then after the park, then there's another habitat that does draw your eye. But just because you have the empty space in between, that's of course still filled, still made to look pretty, but not in your face pretty. It's just calm, it's just relaxing. It also is great for pictures with the water in the back. And this like water feature with the sloping edges, it does have a word. I forgot the word because my brain goes to mush whenever I start recording. I don't know why. There's usually like, here's the thing. I know the words right before I start doing the voiceover. As soon as I start the voiceover, it's just like, yep, words not found anymore. Good luck, squirrel. You are just going to have to go on without me, says the brain. Well, it's debatable if I have a brain sometimes, but there it goes. Anyways, so yeah, that water feature I took from Rotterdam. Like, there's this water side that has this feature where it just slopes into the water very gently, but still, you know, landscaped in a way. So yeah, there were a lot of ducks there. I really didn't think there would be a lot of ducks because it's a hard surface. There's a lot of rocks that were in the water, but there were a lot of ducks there. Yeah, I've actually physically been to this place. I'm not going to say where because, you know, privacy. I don't know. Like, that's the thing. Like, when it comes to like the internship, or whenever I have inspiration from things that might be close by to me, I'm just like, nope. You guys are not going to hear from that. Like, you're not ever going to hear where I'm interning. Just because, I don't know, it's just like keeping that sort of healthy separation between YouTube and then my real life. That's basically kind of the idea of like, you know, even if the channel's like tiny, I still want to keep that healthy separation between real life and YouTube. So yeah, I will never say where I'm interning. I will never say how close things are to me. I went there, saw this, and I tried to make it in Plan Zoo. And I will give you no idea how close that is to my actual location. That's it. Anyways, that's also going to be it for the video. Hope you enjoyed it. And now let's see the end results. Bye bye.